Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this week's episode of Podiatry Marketing. With me today is Big Jim Mack, all the way from Canada, my trusty co-host. Jim, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for the amazing introduction, as always.
Okay, so let's get on to today's topic,
Should
which is
should your podiatry clinic use threads? And if you don't know what threads are, I'm not talking about Twitter or the new app. I guess they call it X now. These kind of multiple tweets that are in a row. There's one more social media platform, right? Just when you think that you can't have enough social media platforms, Facebook decides to create a new platform called Threads. So today we're going to jump into a little bit about what Threads is, what is it for, and is it worth your time? I don't know how you feel about another social media platform, Tyson, but it seems like every month or two there's a new one that pops up.
well, what's funny is I remember when 2 years back, and when that came out, everyone's going, "Oh, do we really need another video platform?" But then check what happened with TikTok. Yeah, how many people are on it? How many people have done really well from it? So I look at Threads and I'm like, oh, do we really need another thing that sort of looks like Instagram, Facebook? I don't know. It's blended together, but I've got an account.
I think most people do. If you have a Instagram account, it's pretty easy to create a Threads account. I think they were actually prompting people that when they started it in July, I think they got like 30 million users right away just because it was so easy to make an account from your Instagram account. But for those that don't know what Threads is, basically Facebook, Instagram, their parent company is Meta, and Meta has decided to go toe to toe with Twitter. And this Threads app is basically an iPhone or iOS app that basically has a lot of the same functionality as Twitter. So you create mostly text-based posts up to 500 characters. You can share photos and videos as well, and the videos can go up to 5 minutes long. But this is something that is really, like I said, trying to compete with Twitter. After Elon Musk bought Twitter, that was like something like $44 billion. He purchased that social media platform. It's been becoming more of a place where there's a lot of flame wars and people getting ultra political or lots of, I wouldn't necessarily call it cyberbullying, but there's a lot of people it's not the nicest or the most calm place on the internet to try to have a conversation with someone, or even for a clinic, try to talk to your patients. The thought behind Meta, I think, going after Twitter or X now by starting Threads is to really see an opportunity to maybe make it a little bit more civil. Maybe people that are Facebook friends or Instagram friends that feel like they maybe know each other a little bit are going to talk to each other in a more civil and more calm manner. But who knows?
For now.
Facebook has a history of really moderating content, unlike Twitter, which is the Wild West. But we'll have to see what happens when people start liking, commenting, reposting, and sharing the threads on this Meta or Facebook Threads platform.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It's one of those things that I jumped on, I think, day 2. And it was because another friend that I have that's in IT just said, set up your account. Whenever a new platform comes up, they always say, set up an account to try and get your real estate, your name, or whatever handle that you actually want to use. So therefore you've got it. You may never use it and it may crash and burn and disappear. But if it doesn't, at least you've got that important real estate of either your business name or your personal name, whatever it is you want to do.
No, for sure. I think that's where the tie-in between Instagram and Threads is really makes it really easy. Basically, if you already have an Instagram, you can get the same username on the Threads platform. So it's not something you would have to go battle out someone for that handle that you want to have on Threads. I think the question though is, what is it for? I think if some people, it seems like that of all the social media platforms, while you can do photos and video, Twitter and Threads are really based on text, and is text-based communication, more kind of general comments or general information about your clinic. I think it can be a good way to, if you already have like a social media software that kind of distributes some of this content places, I don't think it's going to hurt maybe to consider doing that. But I don't think necessarily that Twitter or Threads is the best place to really be visible or deliver your stamp of authority as far as whatever type of practice you're going to have. There's obviously, we've talked about in the past that number one, the most important thing digitally is your website. And beyond that, we'll talk a little bit down the road here on this podcast about whether we think it's worth your time or not. But there's probably text-based displaying your expertise. It can be a little bit of a tricky thing especially in social media when there's just so much noise out there.
Yeah, I think not sure how to comment. And no, it's one of those things, like you said, it's another platform. And I know a lot of people are going to sit back and go, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And do I have the mental capacity to actually want to take on another social media platform? Because they might already spend time on Facebook, they might already spend time on Instagram. And I know it's going to suit different ages. So I think it's one of those platforms that you should probably be talking to your patients about and go, have you heard about this? And you may find there might be a certain group of patients who go, oh, yeah, we're on that. And this is how we use it. Because I think even TikTok, when TikTok first came out, only thing I ever saw were young girls dancing and waving their arms about to somebody else's music and dancing. But then I saw it move on from there, where all of a sudden people were giving business advice and other people were showing technical skills. So it's adapted and evolved. So Threads might do exactly the same thing. It's there for a certain purpose, but depending on the demographics that use it, it could actually change.
I think that's a really important thing you bring up there is the demographics of the patients you're treating, right? If you're mostly taking care of senior citizens, you can probably just automatically just skip this, right? But if this is something where you live in an urban area, people are on social media. I've been a Twitter user since I think 2006 or 2007, so I've been on that platform for a very long time. But it's never, at least for me personally, it's never been something where I had a toothache when I was happening to going through tweets and I saw something for a dentist or had
Mm.
a foot problem or some kind of medical related issue. It doesn't seem to me like it's a great place for discovery. Maybe you're following your favorite sports team or you want to have the latest news on some type of subject. And Twitter can be relatively good for that. But as far as really building expertise and authority for medical practices, like I said, I'm not sure that's really the place. Tyson, have you used Twitter much in the past? Or if you have, what kind of things have you used it for?
Yeah, I refer to it as Twitter, like Instacrap. And the thing is, I prefer, like, I'm probably on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, probably more just for business and staying in touch with family and friends. But Instagram, I use more for just entertainment, like flicking through stuff. I love watching all those videos, all fails. And you can't help but love watching somebody do something and totally stuff up and it ends badly. Twitter, on the other hand, I've got an account. I post a few things on there, but it's usually got to do with the podcast. Like this episode's just come out. If you want to go and check it out, here's the link. But I never go on there just to see what anybody else is actually doing. No one's that important who's not in my life that I really want to know what they're doing on a regular basis. And that's the part where I've seen Twitter where a famous sports person or actor or actress go, hey, I'm just walking into this shop to buy myself a new shirt. And they're constantly just telling people what they're doing. I'm having a coffee. I'm scratching my bum. I'm just like, I don't care. My life is busy enough without doing that. But for other people, they really want to know, they want to get into the lives of other people. But in podiatry, if any podiatrist is really that important.
No, I think it's a good point. I think this platform started off as what they referred to as like a micro blogging platform.
Yeah.
And they used to have a question back in the early days of Twitter is like, what are you doing? And that was like the main question they wanted you to answer when you're using the platform. And like you said, sometimes you just don't care. And sometimes the a couple sentences is not really that interesting. But I guess it comes down to it is this platform, worth your time or your staff's time? And where does it rank as an overall priority on the kind of the social media or the digital landscape? And I would say, like we mentioned previously, you got to really know your clinic's demographics. If you have young people that are on social media all the time, like I said, get the handle, have the account, maybe just watch and wait and see what happens. But I don't think the majority of clinics do not need to worry about threads at this current time. And unless you have some type of software, and there are these different types of software, right? Sprout Social is one of them. There's some other types of software where you can basically, if you're going to write a Facebook post or you're going to write an Instagram post, it almost makes it easy to duplicate the content and kind of put it out onto these other channels. And you feel
Yeah.
like that's something you want to do. I don't think there's any harm in doing it, but it definitely is not something where I think you should be dedicated to making original content on threads. So where does it rank in priority? I would say it probably ranks somewhere along as far as like patient recruitment, I would say, or trying to be visible to patients, probably at the very lowest rung, I would say right now. It's the newest, so it probably doesn't have that much reach. Facebook is also notorious for really limiting how many people see your Facebook posts, your Instagram posts, and probably your threads. They like to really throttle those things down. At the current time of recording this podcast, there's not a way to advertise on threads that I'm aware of yet. Maybe down the road, that might be something that is added as an option to Facebook advertising or to Instagram advertising. But at this point in time, I would say it's more of a watch and wait. If you're interested to mess around the platform, I don't think there's any harm in doing it, except from just wasting you and your staff's time.
Like I said before, I think get the important real estate, register your business name, your personal name, if what you're currently using it in Facebook or Instagram. But yeah, I think the same thing about have just a bit of a play around with it. One of those things when you're sitting on the can and you got a couple of spare minutes. I know a few people, that's the only time they're on Instagram. Not mentioning any names at all. No one's putting the hand up here. But it's, to me, it's have a look, post a couple of things, have a look at what other people are posting. But I wouldn't waste a lot of time on it right now. But like I said, if it's owned by the Facebook guys, you know there's going to be some money to be made in this somewhere down the track.
That's the thing I think is funny about this is that Elon Musk buys this for $44 million, just all this backlash against him in some ways, how he's changing the platform. And then the kind of the knight in shining armor is this platform that back in the 2012 or 2016 US election was a way to, there's some tampering or there's a lot of kind of shady stuff going on with the Facebook as far as taking user information and having people being targeted with specific types of ads. So now they have another platform where people are putting in, what are you doing? Where are you at? That kind of information where they're just building this database of who you are. I think social media can be very powerful, but you also need to know whatever you're sharing is going to be monetized by Facebook in some fashion, right? There's a reason why it's free, right? Like it's a free product because on the back end, they're finding ways to make money with all of your data. So that's not to scare you or say that social media is bad necessarily, but just know that if you're not paying for a product, then you are the product, and making sure that you're being safe as well, sharing your location live or saying you're doing something while we're podiatrists and we like to think that the world can be a safe place. Sometimes it's not safe to share your exact location at a certain time. So I think it is important to take a step back sometimes from these social media channels. It's great to share and be genuine with your patients and show them your personality, but also make sure you're practicing social media in a safe way, not only for you, but for your family.
Yeah, I think with all social media platforms, it is one of those things when you're posting something and you're looking at the pyramids in Egypt. When you post that, you're basically telling everyone, I'm not at home. And even though you like to think that the people you're connected with the most, your close friends, aren't going to come and rob you while you're gone, but you just don't know who knows who. So to me, it's just a lot of common sense sometimes with what you're doing.
But that's all I've got today, Tyson. I just wanted to introduce this relatively new social media platform. I've had some people ask me some questions about it, and hopefully that cleared up exactly what it is, what it does, and maybe whether it's worth people's time or not.
So you're on Threads, I take it?
I am at McDonald. So yeah, if anyone wants to hit me up there, that's where I'm at.
I'm on there too, Tyson Franklin 66. Easy to find. But like a friend of mine said many years ago, Facebook, whoever's going to use that rubbish, that won't take off. And they were the same person that told me, just register for Threads because you never know what may happen. It could be, remember when Google started. Google. Well, yeah. On Google, I use Yahoo or was it Atla Vista?
Alta Vista,
all these, yeah, using all these other ones, Alta Vista. And you're thinking, Google? Now, Google is it's the thing that we use. And in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, everyone will be going, Google. Oh, I remember Google. So things are adapting and changing. Like I said, I think it all comes down to who's using it and the people that are creating it, the back end. How are they going to use it to make money? Because if there's no money in it, they're not going to keep it going. It'll be pointless.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Jim, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye, Tyson.
Okay, bye.